Why do I feel like I need to fix my partner? And what does that say about me? And what does that say about the relationship? Okay, so I have been noticing that there's like themes and feelings and energy that moves through me at certain periods of time. And I have been following astrology, and it very much follows the astrology when I start to feel these pushes and these pulls and this energy. I checked the astrology and noticed that it was really matching what was happening inside of me. So I wanted to offer some suggestions for how you can use this energy. You can go with the flow instead of allowing it to kind of move you, which my camera keeps doing right now. Or at least you can go with the flow and feel like you can take advantage of this energy. Yeah, it's really just how you can go with the flow. So the reason that this is coming up right now is there's a half moon in Aries, which is a pull between action and emotion support. It's about honest communication and courageous steps, but not moving impulsively forward. But also Saturn is entering Pisces, and that brings us lessons about boundaries, emotional depth, and karma. It's a period for integrating structure into the ethereal realm. Basically, what Saturn's trying to tell us to do is if we're not in alignment with our highest self, it's pushing us to do that. And I have been pushed over the last year to do that. But I know partly why. It's because now I'm going to have to be leading, not have to be, this is what I want to do. I'm going to be leading others through this. It was a very difficult process, but also very beautiful and inspiring. And I learned a lot of trust, and I learned that I'm not doing this alone, that Spirit is with me and is rooting for me and supporting me in my highest good. And you'll learn that too. But there are some difficult lessons that require a lot of courage. So why do you feel the need to fix your partner? Why this is important right now is because relationships need to undergo some radical change right now. So your relationship you may be deciding to end a relationship, or you may be just upgrading it. But the way that you do all this anyway is by looking at yourself and taking responsibility for yourself. So we're going to look at why you feel like you need to fix your partner, and what that says about you and what that says about your relationship, and what you can do that doesn't require anything from your partner. You can take 100% responsibility for this and really take the action that's necessary. That's the good news. Okay, so it's often rooted in the unconscious beliefs like, if they change, I will finally feel safe, loved, or secure. Or their behavior reflects on you, or love means saving someone. What's happening in you is you have this protector part that's trying to gain control and likely trying to avoid a pain, abandonment, or chaos, something that you probably experienced in your early childhood. Are you avoiding your own pain discomfort, or grief, or truth? That's a question that you can ask yourself and sit with that. So I'm going to ask you that again so that you can either write that down, journal, or meditate on that. And that's, are you avoiding your own pain, discomfort, grief, or truth? Okay, so some of the things that this might say about you, if you tend to try to fix your partner all the time, is that you're likely over-identified with the masculine, holding the role of fixer, rescuer, or emotional manager. You may be bypassing your own needs, turning the mirror outward instead of inward. And so something that you can do actually using that mirror is just take your own mirror, look in it, and ask yourself, What do I need? And just see what arises, see what comes up for you. You may be carrying a wounded feminine part, believing that your worth comes from being useful or needed. So ask yourself, what part of me believes I can't be loved unless I help or fix? And you hear that? That beeping noise? I always say that everything means something. It's like something is calling to your attention right now. Okay, so what this reveals about your relationship, if you feel like you have to be the fixer all the time, is that you're possibly in a caretaker-child dynamic. Maybe you saw your parents interacting that way, your mother mothering your father as if he was her child. That may have been the dynamic that you witnessed growing up, and you thought that that was what a relationship should be. That is not an adult partnership. And if you're looking for emotional intimacy and romantic intimacy, you don't want to have that kind of dynamic. It's not the dynamic that you're looking for. But don't judge yourself for that, because that's probably what you grew up with. That's probably what you learned. The relationship may lack emotional safety or boundaries, creating codependency. You both may have learned this. You may be in that dynamic of your wounded parts are interacting and they're just replaying a cycle that they learned, and you're not very conscious about it. So you can become conscious about that cycle that's happening with you. So you can look at, what are the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are playing into this? What is happening for me? What am I seeing in them? And what does that create in me? And how do I interact with that? Once you can observe that, you can take a step back from it and decide how you want to respond differently. And a lot of that is about taking care of your own emotional needs, which we're going to get to. Okay, so the need to fix may be masking a deeper incompatibility that you're unwilling to face. That was my truth in my marriage, is that it was something that we were clearly not wanting the same things. And he even said to me, I don't want that. And it took me a while to be able to hear that, because I had put so much into the marriage that I didn't want to give that up. That meant that that meant giving up something that I had worked so hard for 25 years. I didn't know how to do that, especially when I was a marriage and family therapist and I was supposed to have it all together, right? That was really hard to admit. But the truth is, you can't have intimacy with someone that you're trying to manage. That's not the kind of relationship dynamic that creates that kind of intimacy. The good news is that you are 100% able to change this yourself, as I said already. So the first thing you can do is acknowledge, I do feel responsible for their growth. And then you can validate it. This part is trying to protect me from disappointment. If I can help them grow, then I won't be disappointed by them. That's what you're saying to yourself. But it's not working, right? It doesn't work. That's hard. So then you want to care for it. This is my AVC's model. Acknowledge, validate, care for. So then you want to care for that part. My partner's healing is not my job. My job is to love from wholeness. And then you kind of need to reparent and take care of that part of you. So what part of me am I avoiding by focusing on them? And just allow that part to come up and just hold it. Acknowledge it, validate it, and care for it. And then ask yourself, and this also goes along with the astrology of what's happening now, what is mine to carry and what is not mine to carry? What am I willing to hold for somebody else and what am I not willing to hold for them? And really be truthful with yourself on that. If it feels heavy, if it feels like a burden, if it feels that way in your body, it's not yours and you need to give it back. And you can ask yourself, who was I trying to save as a child? This goes way back. And there's actually a family constellation that I do to kind of get at that. Really feeling what you carried as a child and giving it back, honoring your parents, thanking them for giving you life, and giving them back whatever burden that you took on for them that you thought that you could change because you loved them so much. But you really couldn't. And it gets heavy. And when you take that into every other relationship, it just doesn't work. It's important to be able to identify it and let it go. What might it feel like to just love without responsibility or control? Imagine that. Imagine what it would be like to just love somebody and not have to do that. I'm learning that now in my relationship. It's really cool. It's a really great feeling of just having a friend and a partner to do things with, what I was looking for my whole life, what I was working so hard to get. Turns out I didn't need to work that hard. I just needed to focus on me and align with my truth and take care of my own needs and be whole. And really, I did that by following my own model: acknowledge, validate, care for. And sometimes the caring for means standing up for myself and not just speaking my truth, but really making sure that whoever I'm asking for steps up for me. Don't just tell me that you're going to step up for me and not do it. I'm watching you. I see your actions. Your actions matter. Can I allow my partner to have their own journey, even if it's uncomfortable for me? Or am I not enjoying this ride anymore? What would bring me joy? These are some really difficult questions that you're probably feeling right now very intensely, and that is because Saturn is in Pisces and it's pressing you. And it's not going to back down, it's just going to get louder. But I can tell you I'm on the other side of it, and you're going to get everything that you're asking for, everything that you're looking for. It just may require you to do some really difficult things that require a lot of courage. But you know, there's so many people out there that have really been on this path and are guiding other people because they know how hard it is. And I'm one of those people. I'm in the process right now of developing a coaching program and getting my certification in coaching. This is pretty interesting. I'm actually moving from being a therapist to being a coach, because the therapist in me was the fixer, the rescuer. And for me, I have found that coaching is a healthier model because it's not fixing or rescuing anyone. It's really empowering people. And I had already naturally been evolving into that. So it was an evolution that I found as I did the coaching. I had already been doing a lot of the coaching things. And it was just really kind of integrating the therapist into the coach. And I did a really cool practice yesterday with my coach on integrating the therapist and the coach. And what I found in that practice was that I thought I had to just like say goodbye to the therapist, and I was kind of like discounting everything that I learned and got as a therapist. I was trying to just push it away and say, I don't need you anymore. But I wasn't really honoring everything that I got from being a therapist: the experience, the compassion, the depth, the understanding, the ability to be present, the ability to see that that person did have everything they need inside of them. And it was really just about me helping them see that. So I had already been doing all the work and evolving into a coach, and I hadn't even realized that. And that they were so connected and so much a part of each other. So that it was the voice dialogue that I did with my coach that helped me to realize that. And I'm trying to do the same thing with my relationship that I had, my marriage. I'm trying to look at my marriage and say, the reason that I'm enjoying and understanding and being able to create such a beautiful relationship with my partner now, my new partner, is because of the pain and the lessons that I learned in my marriage. So it's an evolution. I am still that person that was in that marriage that believed and loved and chose and wanted those things and wanted the very best for myself and my partner. I'm still that. And what ended up being best was for us to part. So this is the work that we're doing right now. It's beautiful and it's sad. There's grief and loss, and there's joy and hope. And that's really what life is. But you know what the most beautiful part of it is? That you're going to fall in love with life, and you're going to fall in love with you. So if you would like to go on this journey with me, keep checking out my channel and my like and subscribe to my videos. I'm going to keep doing more videos like this. And I will have my website up soon, so if you wanted to develop a deeper relationship with yourself and you wanted some coaching help on that journey, you can reach out to me and we can start a coaching journey together. So thanks for being here, and thanks for being you and being so brave. This isn't easy, but it is really beautiful.